I have so many questions about charts and no one to help me. If only there was a place I could go to learn which doesn't cost a fortune.
There is such a place. It's my Patreon. It's £7.50 a month and you get 2 live streams a week. Ask me anything you like about any chart that you want.
What about trading platforms?
Well, in the video description I've got a link for all the best ones and you can get up to 20% off all your trading fees for life.
Thanks CryptoClick, you demand bro.
Hello everybody, we're going to look at Atom, or Cosmos as they're called, but Atom is what I call it because that's what it says. I don't like it when blockchains call themselves something different to what they actually are. So it is Cosmos, but they are Atom. It's like Matic was always Matic to me. It's always been Matic, always will be Matic. Why change your name to Polygon? Never mind, that's not my deal. I'm always about the charts, and so a couple of weeks ago I was talking about how their Atom had a bullish setup, Atom, or Cosmos, whatever you want to call it, a couple of weeks ago, and since then, you know, we've yielded about 10% from that area. Now, I didn't take part in this, just to let you know. I recognized it, but I also said, look, despite having a good setup, I'm not in it. I'm going to wait for a few things to take place first. First thing being, I want to see us maintain and hold above this 200 exponential moving average. If we can do this on a daily with this Bitcoin pair, then we could start to build up a decent load of momentum from this particular level. We seem to be being supported on it right now. And then the only sort of drawback to this is if you transfer that over to the tether pair, we're pushing a resistance here as well. And this resistance is not a nothing. This resistance is pretty significant. We broke down quite hard from here and found ourselves getting rejected and then breaking down to a massive extent. If we zoom back a little bit further, you can see that this area had a breakout and a fair bit of mess in between, and then a big launch pad from here as well. Now, you know, this is a different type of market to this. But if we look over here, unlike a lot of other altcoins, the money flow index is not overheated. We get this a lot. There's so many altcoins out there with great setups, but the money flow index is punching really hard to the overbought. I don't like that term, but I like to overheated areas, whereas this isn't. And what we've got is nice movement on the RSI, creeping movement and momentum on the money on the MACD, and the money flow index, if anything, is in a descending channel. You might think, well, what you talk about descending channel? It's only a money flow index. Well, actually, you know, these things work. You know, these things work. Formations, believe it or not, work on momentum oscillators just like they would do on price action. So we'll be looking for this to probably break from this resistance, and this would be a decent place for it to break from, and I'll tell you why. In fact, we'll just get rid of all the other stuff there. The reason why is that this resistance, once broken, can take us all the way up to about $16. And you think, well, I only want to trade things that yield millions of percent. I don't want 30%. I want millions of percent. Well, you get what you give, I'm afraid. And if you're going to complain about making 30%, then it's probably, you know, you're probably destined to fail. Don't chase millions of percent. If you're a trader, if you want to trade, you trade for profit. And this is decent profit. If it were to happen, this would be decent profit. So not just breaking above here would generate this. We would probably, almost certainly, over the next week or so, even if we hung around at this resistance, get a pump signal generated on the itchy cloud. We've got all the components required for that to happen. Cross, this would close above the cloud. That's what we're waiting for. We are currently above the cloud, and if we just have a look over to the side, nice green portion of the cloud as well. So we're waiting for that pump signal to be generated on the tether pair. Despite, you know, on top of that, obviously the Bitcoin pair is continuing with its momentum and it's above the resistances. Next major resistance for the Bitcoin pair would be all the way up here, about 6,200, and that's a major area as well. You can see this big breakdown from that particular zone. So it still maintains its bullish momentum that we were saying from 2 weeks ago. It's just been slow and steady, and sometimes slow and steady is the better way. All these other ones that have been popping off in between, you know, we've been doing little trades here, there, and everywhere on other altcoins and this, that, and the other have all been pretty good. Now, I made a video earlier on today about Bitcoin and why Bitcoin looks pretty good, mostly based upon the NASDAQ over here, which is the NASDAQ closing with its pump signal yesterday on the daily. So, yeah, obviously the NASDAQ is going to be closed over the weekend, but coming into next week, this cannot be unchanged. We can come down to test these moving averages, but the pump signal is still in play with about a 70% hit rate, I would say, on a signal like this, and that'll give the green light, I suppose, to all stocks and crypto through association. Now, altcoins are extra risky, riskier than normal as we approach the 40% dominance. So you've got to be aware of that. But if we look at this, particularly Atom, I wouldn't really look at this and go, well, this is extremely risky. Mostly because we're not that overcooked or overheated with any bearish divergence really of significance. I mean, we do have it on the RSI here with its Bitcoin pair, but as far as its position on the price action is quite good. And actually, if we think about the bearish divergence, yeah, it is in play, but technically these ones have broken. So the momentum still seems to be one of an uptrend, despite being quite a slow one. Now that's all going to get cancelled out, I would say, with this break from here and this pump signal. And again, the pump signal has not been generated, but if it were to, and I think it's quite likely that it would, because each day that goes by, this cheeky span's most likely going to close outside of this price. We could come all the way down to what would this be? All the way down to basically $9 over the next week, and still generate the pump signal. And the pump signal taking us up to a major area of resistance. I think $16 is probably the best target to look at it from it. So Atom is still really good. Now you think about all these other coins, and yeah, people saying, oh, I want to trade something that yields millions of percent. Well, you know, Atom can be pretty aggressive when it's ready to go. I mean, look at the state of it here. So this is your alt season, obviously. Alt season began January 2021, 500%, and then we had a rehashed event after that. So this is one of those few coins that went on to make a new high after the big crash in May, and then even after that, it came down and then had another rally to make a double top over here. And so when it rallies, it can rally quite hard. So you think that this can't happen to Atom? I think it definitely will. The trading volume's not nothing. It's relatively good, and even if we are targeting just something like 20 to 30%, you know, you get what you're given in this market. You know, effectively this is a downtrending market, but there has overnight, after yesterday's closure on traditional markets, basically with the Nasdaq pump signal. You know, I think it's given crypto the green light to continue on a little further. The only thing you would want to look at when trading these setups like this, again, this isn't the greatest setup, but it is continuation of its slow and steady uptrend, waiting for it to break this level and then probably have its big move up to 20 to 30%. You know, all you really need to worry about is how cooked are we on the money flow index, and this is one of the few coins I'd say that hasn't got that read yet. You know, the sooner we get to these overheated levels around here on altcoins, I'd be more worried, especially when the dominance chart floats around, you know, getting towards 40%. Yeah, because you don't want to be. There's not really a trade to make really when altcoins, dominance is getting close to 40%. It's most likely going to end in tears, and this obviously could end in tears as well. It's just that this one, if any, has much further to run, especially as we're bouncing from this descending channel. Which again, if you look at a descending channel, they are bullish formations. You break out from things like this more often than you break down from them. So I do like Atom. I gave it a fresh look today, and look, I'm okay to trade something with a potential 20 to 30% return on that. I know everyone wants hundreds of percent, but this is not the time to be dealing with hundreds of percents. The hundreds of percents, we've already done that. All right. So for those of you who watch this channel, obviously we've probably all done that because we said to buy altcoins around the 13th to 14th of June, and that's where the big gains were had. Obviously, if you missed all of that, that's unfortunate, but let's just go back. Where is it? Where is that video? Where is that video I was talking about? It's in here somewhere. Why I bought altcoins today at 48.7% dominance for the altcoin rally. I remember the heated comments I got on that were, you don't understand. You can't be buying altcoins at this level. This is stupid. This is stupid. Oh, and lo and behold, epic rejection and lovely altcoin gains from exactly that level. 48% dominant, 48.7% dominance. What the hell are you doing? Just wanted to show you the exact tag of that. There you go. Bang! Boosh, all the way down. So we've been crushing the market for a couple of months. So just to let you all know, it's all been done. It's all been done. The majority of the moves have been done. We've doubled our money, if not more. And so if you're looking to make more money, I suppose, or make more Bitcoin trades into altcoins, then you're scratching the bottom of the barrel now. 2 months ago was the time to do it, as said on the on the channel here. And now it's time for us to, if anything, go back into a Bitcoin position. But there are certain things that do look relatively tasty, and this, I think, is one of them. And again, you might think 30% is nothing, but actually, in a bear market, 30% is pretty good. So, so I'm looking to enter this one. I'm just going to monitor Bitcoin for the rest of the day. I've got to go and do some stuff as well, so I can't really sit around particularly trading. But I do fancy this one. I think I am going to get in on this one, as we've now got over that 200 exponential on the Bitcoin pair. And if anything, I'll be looking for a retest of it, preferably so I can get in on at a much better level. But we are more or less at it, really, to be honest with you. There's really not much between it, and there's a lot of support between 4,500 to 4,800. So any pullback, any dip on the Atom to BTC pair, to me, is a buy the dip opportunity for a trade, not a long-term position, for a trade. I like it. It's a decent setup. It's met all the criteria. It's definitely got further to run. It's not overcooked or overheated on the money flow index. So thumbs up from me. But generally speaking, like I said on the video this morning, altcoins, getting into altcoins at this particular level, I'm not saying that it's a foolish idea. I just think that Bitcoin is probably your better bet, and that's why, like I say, I thought I'd reference that video I made 2 months ago when I told everybody that this is the time to be buying into altcoins, because this is where the rejection is going to happen, and that's where we've made a couple of 100% definitely over 2 months. So if anyone's going to trade any altcoins now, you're scratching at the bottom of the barrel for some kind of gains. I know that there's a euphoria feel into the market right now, and that's normally a bit of a warning sign in itself. But yeah, there are still some setups there, and altcoins can continue to run. But you're not going to make the hundreds of percent that we made on the channel 2 months ago. That's where to have positioned yourself into the charts, and that's what we did. Now it's time, I suppose, for the most part, to get out into a Bitcoin position, because if anyone's going to be pumping, it's going to be the big boy like Bitcoin, and probably Ethereum, but Bitcoin specifically. And the only reason this has been generated on here isn't because of its own signal setup, it's because of its big brother, the Nasdaq, which got that epic closure yesterday, which is a pump signal, which is probably going to take it up to its next major level of resistance, and that'll be just short of another 10% from here. So there's a lot to think about, definitely. Like I say, I'm not suggesting you make an Atom trade. Like I say, I am not in an Atom trade right now. I intend to be, but if it launches before I get the opportunity to buy it, so be it. Like I say, I'm not particularly bothered because of all the gains that have been made these last couple of months. I can sit back and just wait for the Bitcoin to move, because that's where I've taken my profit into. And lo and behold, I closed into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's moving up. You got the best of both worlds there. Doubling my money, quadrupling my money, and now my money's going up as well. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Bear market is clearly not over, but yeah, that doesn't mean that money can't be made. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.